Selena Gomez cut grinding up against a co-star she's not in a relationship with. Dave Grohl admits to fathering a child outside his marriage, and Megan Fox calls it quits with MGK. So Selena Gomez found herself in the middle of some drama a few months back after a video was released of her dancing with Edgar Ramirez, her co-star from Emilia Perez, at a Sabrina Carpenter concert in New York. Now, what's so bad about a little dancing? I mean, it's not the end of the world, right? Well, it depends on the type of dancing. The type of dancing you do with your family member at your wedding, you know, that's fine. Grinding your bits up on each other, different kind of realm. You know, usually your partner's gonna frown upon that. This dancing seemed to fall more into that category. People online were calling it a bit too intimate. In the video, you can see Selena kind of grinding up on Edgar, with him even getting behind her for a moment before taking some pics of the group. This clip quickly went viral, and some folks were all over it, saying that it just looked off because she's supposedly in a relationship with Benny Blanco. Speaking of Benny, he and Selena started dating in July of 2023, around her birthday. Fast forward to December, and she even went public about their relationship, posting a sweet message on Instagram saying that he was, quote, everything in her heart. Hearts contain two ventricles, veins, muscle, arteries, all very romantic stuff. But just when things seemed steady, rumors started swirling after this dance video, especially since Selena had tagged Benny in another post just earlier that night. Well, that was 3 months ago. The latest news is the two are now engaged, so I guess they sorted it all out. Selena posted a pic showing off a sparkly ring, captioned, "Forever begins now." Dave Grohl, former drummer of a little band called Nirvana, and founder, lead singer, and guitarist of Foo Fighters, you know, funny, charming, an overall good guy to everyone he meets, unless you're married to him, in which case you get cheated on. No, this hasn't just happened once. Dave Grohl is no stranger to the spotlight. He's also no stranger to relationship drama. Grohl first tied the knot with Jennifer Leigh Youngblood in 1994. They eventually divorced in 1997, after Grohl admitted to cheating. Then in 2003, Grohl married Jordan Bloom, the woman who would become the mother of his 3 daughters. Sounds like he might have learned his lesson, but not exactly. In September of 2024, Grohl dropped a bombshell on Instagram, admitting that he not only cheated, but had gotten a woman pregnant, a woman who was not his wife. He wrote, "I've recently become the father of a new baby daughter born outside of my marriage." Going back in time again though, he also had a relationship with a snowboarder named Tina Basic in the 90s. She dated Grohl for 2 years, and surprise, surprise, she alleged that he was seeing another woman while they were together. In her memoir, Pretty Good for a Girl, she said she found out through the grapevine. I don't know how anyone in this profession can have a normal relationship with a girlfriend, or 2, as it turned out. Grohl didn't give her the truth until she pushed for it, and she said all she got was a 5-minute phone call after weeks of calling him and hearing rumors. So yeah, Dave Grohl's got a history with decisions, but at least he's owning up to them now, saying he's, quote, doing everything he can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. But here's the thing, I just don't think some folks are meant for monogamy. So if you don't know, NBA star Tristan Thompson cheated on the mother of his kids not once but twice, from what we know, maybe even 3 times or more, when she was pregnant. Who is the mother? Well, she's a much less famous person named Khloe Kardashian, part of a very large and confusing family, the members of which I often confuse with one another. Now, after years of being the guy who just can't seem to keep it in his pants, Thompson decided to do some damage control. He decided to apologize for all the chaos he'd caused, and there were a few key members of Khloe's family on the list. He'd already sat down with Kris Jenner and Rob Kardashian, Kim Kardashian, and Kylie and Kourtney. Now, Kylie was not rolling out with the welcome mat. She admitted to being, quote, a little nervous to talk to Tristan, and you can't really blame her. I mean, this is the guy who kissed her best friend, Jordan Woods, at a party back in 2019. Tristan knew he messed up though, and owned up to it, saying, "The fact that I came with my poor decisions and being an effing idiot and just being young and stupid, I just want to say I'm sorry again for that." He really went on the apology tour. Now, Kylie took it surprisingly well and insightfully and graciously exclaimed, quote, "I appreciate that." But then she went on to talk about how tough it was to lose Jordan because it felt like losing a sister. Now, don't panic, Jordan didn't die from the kiss. Kylie just didn't appreciate her friend kissing the partner of one of her family members on the lips and decided to stop being friends with her. Kylie didn't let him off the hook either, saying, "I think you have such a good heart, good energy, and to know you is to love you, your spirit and everything, so it is confusing." Because some of the you do is really effing crazy. Next up on this apology tour was Kourtney Kardashian, who had zero interest in pretending everything was fine. She asked the tough questions like, the next day after you do the deed, do you feel anything? Hopefully it wasn't a red bumpy sore. Tristan's answer though, for me personally, when I cheat, I feel disgusted the next day with guilt. Well, this man sure does like the feeling of disgust and guilt, because he's done it a lot. The fact that he even said, when I cheat, like he's talking about a slightly embarrassing eating habit. Kourtney asked him why he kept doing it, and Tristan said he was, quote, just cheating for an action, just cheating for a feeling. Going on to say it also came down to not knowing how to love. The two first got together in 2016, and just days before they were about to welcome their daughter, True, into the world in 2018, he was caught cheating on Khloe with multiple women. They tried to make it work for the sake of their newborn, but then in 2019 the Jordan scandal happens, and of course Tristan and Khloe went through a breakup, but like clockwork they rekindled their romance after some time apart. In 2021 though, it came out that Tristan fathered a child with another woman, Marley Nichols, while secretly still dating Khloe. And while the paternity scandal was blowing up, Tristan had actually encouraged Khloe to do an embryo transfer so they could have a second baby via surrogate. Khloe touched on all that, saying, it's done. My son is here, your other son is here, and some of my family's emotions have settled down. Not forgotten, not forgiven, not any of that, but settled down. So they're trying to co-parent and move on, but the damage is still there. I just don't think anything will change. Again, some people just really aren't wired for monogamous relationships, which is okay. Just don't get into one, you know? Now, who in their right mind cheats on Megan Fox? Well, MGK cheats on her, apparently. MGK, or Colson Baker, if you're feeling formal, found himself in some pretty hot water with Megan Fox. Megan dumped him after discovering some suspicious text messages from other women on his phone. While they were off in Colorado for Thanksgiving, Megan decided to do a little snooping. Never recommended, but maybe she had her suspicions and just needed to confirm. Well, she found enough evidence to call it quits. An insider revealed she, quote, found text messages involving other women and decided she was done. And yes, she actually did have some trust issues with him before going through his phone. Apparently, she'd been suspicious of his past behavior, but like a lot of us, she thought maybe with time he'd settle down. She even got pregnant with his baby. She was really hoping to make it work, but the messages were just the last straw. She ended their 4-year relationship just 2 weeks after announcing she was expecting their first child together. Meanwhile, MGK, not one to handle a breakup with like a normal person, apparently, went a bit off the rails. He was reportedly smashing guitars, smashing glasses on his head. He'd actually gone to rehab to try and save the relationship before. He admitted on a podcast, quote, I didn't tell anyone outside of the people closest to me. When he made the decision to check himself into rehab a year ago, MGK also credited Megan for helping him through his struggles with substances, saying, Megan has been extremely helpful in dealing with the kind of psychological withdrawals that come with getting off what I'm gonna have to call substances here on YouTube. Now, let's take a trip down memory lane, shall we? Get a little nostalgic. It was 2012. Barack Obama's presidency was in full swing. Jersey Shore was coming to an end. People thought the world was going to end, and a little series called Twilight ruled the world, and for many, ruined vampires forever. It was a time where Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson were two of the most famous people in the world. They were also one of the world's most famous couples, but then tragedy struck. On July 17th of 2012, Kristen Stewart was caught cheating on Robert Pattinson with Rupert Sanders, the director of Snow White and the Huntsman. She met him on set because she starred in that movie. I figured some of you at least would need a reminder on that. Does anyone remember that movie existed? Anyway, the scandal left Stewart, quote, devastated for tarnishing her relationship with Pattinson. All these years later, both couples have long since ended their relationships, but just to drudge up the memories for entertainment purposes, here's what happened. It was August of 2011 when shooting on Snow White and the Huntsman began. There were rumors even at the time that Stewart was early every day for work, but about a year later, Stewart met up with Sanders in LA and the two were caught making out. They spent the afternoon evading paparazzi and groping and kissing in between. Sanders, who is married with children, reported being remorseful after the news hit and his wife, found out. Stewart regretted it, but most importantly, all those twinkling vegetarian vampire lovers, their lives would never be the same again. It turned out true love was just a lie.
I gotta start with Jay-Z with the amount of news circling around him, and who also has admitted that his marriage with Beyonce was not 100% built on truth. His allegations of being unfaithful had started in around 2013, but only was fueled to an extreme when Beyonce's sister Solange physically started going at him in the elevator in 2014. This obviously went viral, and people wanted to know why she did that. Well, it was because during the Met Gala of that same year, Jay-Z and designer Rachel Roy were being a little too casual with each other, and both Beyonce and Solange noticed this during the after party. A source claims Beyonce approached Rachel to let her know the behavior was disrespectful and she wanted her out of their lives for good. Solange came over to have her sister's back, and things got heated with her and Rachel. Jay said some disrespectful things to Beyonce and Solange as the confrontation was going down. That's why all hell broke loose in the elevator and why Beyonce just stood back and let Solange go after Jay. Family will always have your back no matter what. I've been out of the Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana loop since I was a cartoon lover growing up, but I never expected her to be allegedly cheated on. With only being engaged for 9 months, Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth seemed to be completely head over heels for each other, at least on the outside. It wasn't until February 2013 at a pre-Oscar party where an interesting photo of Liam was leaked to the public with Mad Men star January Jones. Liam apparently had shown up to the party without Miley as well, and a source claims they witnessed something very interesting between them. They looked like they had some hot chemistry. They were all over each other, and they even kissed. It doesn't even help the claims either when a photo was exposed of them in the back of a car after the party was done. Meanwhile, through all of this, Miley was still in the clouds with their engagement. But then, it wasn't long after, and I mean literally a month after that, Hemsworth was seen in public without his engagement ring, and eventually the revelation about their split followed soon afterwards. I don't know whether to be shocked or sad that this is how I found out that Kevin Hart was cheating on his pregnant wife in 2017. Hart's wife, Aniko Parrish, had received a private DM on Instagram while 7 months pregnant from a stranger revealing to her a video of Kevin with another woman. Aniko said, "Immediately, I just lost it. I called him, I'm crying, I'm like, pissed. Right then and there, I kept saying, how the F did you let that happen?" However, Kevin Hart laughed off this video, with a lot of fans even saying, they're just talking, so what's the big deal? And labeled it nothing more than an alleged extortion scam. However, in December, he did admit to an affair on the Breakfast Club radio show just 1 month after their son was born. In this video, he says, "I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna sit up here and say that I am or claim to be in any shape or form. And I made a bad error in judgment and I put myself in a bad environment where only bad things can happen." And they did. And in doing that, I know that I'm going to hurt the people closest to me. Who have I talked to and apologized to? That would be my wife and kids. In 2023, everyone seemed to have gone crazy over the new developing relationship between Boy Meets World, Matthew Lawrence, and Chili. Pretty much the public only had good things to say about these two, calling them very cute and adorable, and even the singer's representative, Crystal Jordan, stated, "I've been with Chili since 2005, and I've never seen her this in love. She is glowing. They are really cute together." One person in particular, however, Matthew's ex-wife, Cheryl Burke, had something extra juicy to say about the sudden spark. On her Instagram story, she posts nothing but the words, "That was fast," with the song Boy's a Liar playing over it. The two of them had been divorced in September of 2022, just weeks after Chili and Matthew were spotted together in Hawaii. Something doesn't add up here. And Hawaii isn't just a really nice place you bring an alleged platonic friend to. Would you be bold enough to name your unborn child with the same name of the woman you were having an affair with? Listen to that again. Adam Levine, who is married to Victoria's Secret model Behati Prinsloo, had a huge allegation against him back in 2022 after stating he has never had an affair with anyone. This TikTok model, though, by the name of Summer Stroh, had a few receipts to share about his bold claim. She claims, "I was having an affair with a man who's married to a Victoria's Secret model. At the time, I was young, I was naive, and I mean, quite frankly, I felt exploited." The text shows Adam saying, "It is truly unreal how effing good looking you are. Like, it blows my mind. You are 50 times hotter in person, and so am I. Ha ha ha." After months of no communication, Adam then apparently comes back into her life saying, "Okay, serious question. I'm having another baby, and if it's boy, I really want to name it Summer. You okay with that? Dead serious." What an absolute disgusting message. Summer explains she wanted to be open about this as soon as she could, but was very scared based on her career that she would have been shut down with stereotypes from the public. Adam and Behati are still apparently together though. Some people really don't take being cheated on lightly, especially after you just had a child with them. Back in 2022, Michelle Branch was arrested for allegedly harming her now ex-husband, Patrick Carney, of 3 years. This was apparently just after she had posted a tweet that's now been deleted off her page about her finding out that he had an affair with his manager while she was at home with their 6-month-old. Branch states, "To say that I am totally devastated doesn't even come close to describing how I feel for myself and for my family. The rug has been completely pulled from underneath me, and now I must figure out how to move forward. With such small children, I ask for privacy and kindness. Sometimes it's not photos or even videos showing your significant spouse has been cheating on you, but rather it can even be because of the items in your fridge. Our hips don't lie girl noticed that one of her favorite items in her fridge, a jar of strawberry jam, had been eaten. Shakira made it very clear that no one in her family besides herself liked the jam, and made the connection that someone else was staying in their home while she was away. Having been married to footballer Gerard Piqué for 11 years, she eventually split from him because of this incident. To rub some more salt into it further, Shakira ended up coming out with her own diss track about her now ex-husband, with parts of the video I don't think I can really show alluding to the strawberry jam incident. Her neighbors had also reported to have been hearing Shakira blasting the song at full volume. People are speculating that this new love affair was with Clara Chia Marti, to which Shakira also says some alleged colorful words about her in her song. Shakira also apparently didn't appreciate that Gerard's mother was so quick to welcome in the new love, going as far as placing a witch doll on her balcony facing towards her ex-mother-in-law's house. Video evidence has got to be the hardest thing to disprove, and that's how Tristan Thompson was caught while he was dating Khloe Kardashian, whom was also 3 months pregnant. I'm gonna describe the video as best as I can rather than show you it due to it being extremely intimate, but he was caught by surveillance footage of getting a little too up close and personal with a few other women back on October 7th, 2017. He was also shown going back to hotel rooms with them as well. This guy didn't even try to hide the fact that he was a complete sleazebag. It didn't stop there though, because a source had told the People magazine that Tristan has been consistently cheating on Khloe. He's a serial cheater, and there will be more women to come out of the woodwork. They still stayed together though despite all of this up until 2022. I give the girl props for trying her best to work it out. I don't understand how hard it is for people to just settle down with one person. Y'all are out here playing too much.
Dave Grohl took to Instagram back in September of this year to admit to cheating on his wife and welcoming an offspring with a named woman. He said, "I've recently become the father of a new daughter born outside of my marriage. I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and my family, and I'm doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness." Dave Grohl shares daughters, with his wife, who he married in 2003. This was quite the revelation on the internet. So Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston might be amicable exes now. However, there was a time when things were really ugly between the two. So Brad was accused of cheating on Jennifer with Angelina Jolie, and the rumors proved to be true when he gave an interview to an international outlet, apologizing to his ex-wife. He told Parade magazine, "I spent the 90s trying to hide out, trying to duck the full celebrity cacophony. I started to get sick of myself, sitting on a couch, holding a little something something, hiding out. It started feeling pathetic. It became very clear to him that he was intent on trying to find a movie about an interesting life, but he wasn't living an interesting life himself, and he thinks that his marriage had something to do with it, trying to pretend the marriage was something that it wasn't. He's satisfied with making true choices and finding the woman I love, Angie, and building a family that I love so much. A family is a risky venture because the greater the love, the greater the loss. That's the trade-off, but I'll take it." He did apologize to Jennifer Aniston, saying, "It grieves me that this was interpreted this way. Jen is an incredibly giving, loving, and hilarious woman who remains my friend. It is an important relationship I value greatly. The point I was trying to make is not that Jen was dull, but that I was becoming dull to myself, and that I am responsible for." Well, are you responsible for problem 2.0 with Angelina? It's no secret that Tristan Thompson has landed in hot water multiple times for cheating on Khloe Kardashian. He was caught cheating on Khloe just days before she gave birth for the first time, back in 2018, and while the reality star decided to give the professional athlete a second chance for the sake of their daughter, they ultimately split in February of 2019 after he was caught making out with her BFF Jordan Woods at a party in LA. The pair's relationship was further tested in December of 2021 when fitness model Marilee Nichols welcomed son Theo and sued Thompson for support. A paternity test later revealed that indeed he was the father. In 2022, news outlets confirmed that a surrogate was carrying their second offspring when news of the paternity scandal broke. And another insider was like, "Yeah, they haven't spoken since December outside of co-parenting matters," and they welcomed their second offspring while estranged. In July of 2012, paparazzi photos of Kristen Stewart, who was dating Twilight co-star Robert Pattinson at the time, kissing director Rupert Sanders were were published by news outlets. The actress released a statement shortly afterwards saying she was deeply sorry for the hurt and embarrassment she caused to those close to her and everyone it affected. That momentary indiscretion jeopardized the most important thing in her life, the person she loved and respected the most, Rob. I love him, I'm so sorry. In 2013, after welcoming the 4th edition of their now 5 additions to the family, it was revealed that Dean McDermott cheated on Tori Spelling in a 2-day fling. In a candid interview with ET Canada the following year, he admitted that what he did was wrong, but he was painted in an unfair light for it. He said, "When you're at the checkout and you look over and see one of those magazines and it's like, Dean McDermott's a monster," and I'm like, no, I'm not a monster, I'm a human being and I messed up. He said he messed up and he's owning up to it and he's getting help. But to label me a monster or evil is very hurtful. Now, the duo did work through the cheating, but they called off their marriage in 2023. Jack Nicholson and Angelica Houston split in 1989 after she found out he got somebody else pregnant. Years later, the shining actor spoke about his infidelity, saying, "I was in a wonderful relationship with Angelica. It was as good as it gets. I immediately told her what was up and she made the decision for us." He recalled saying that her first response was, "You have to support this woman." Now, her second response was to come down to my job and bop the hell out of me. And he said, "She really did a number on me. Angelica can really throw a punch." In a rather gross take, Nicholson concluded, "I'm such a wag. I'm a scamp. I don't deny it. I like myself. I grew up in a beauty parlor my family ran, so I'm used to getting along with the ladies. I prefer their company for the most part. I was pampered from the very beginning." Known to be a flirt and flaunting his narcissistic being, Adam Levine was accused of cheating on his wife of 8 years, Bahati Prinsloo, with an Instagram model. Summer Stroh made a TikTok alleging that she had a year-long affair with the Maroon 5 frontman, and as she pulled up several receipts, he released a statement on his Insta story, which read, "I used poor judgment in speaking with anyone other than my wife in any kind of flirtatious manner. I did not have an affair. I crossed the line during a regrettable period of my life. In certain instances, it became inappropriate." And well, Adam's like, "No, I did not cheat. I did not cheat." 5 other women have come forward with claims of inappropriate behavior from him, so Britney Spears was completely infatuated with Justin Timberlake during the relationship from 1999 to 2002. She was so in love that she didn't want to rock the boat when she knew he was cheating on her, and she wrote as much in her memoir, The Woman in Me. She said, "Pretty soon I realized I was head over heels in love with him. So in love it was pathetic. I was so in love with Justin, just smitten. I don't know if when you're younger, love's a different thing, but what Justin and I had was special. He won't even have time to say anything or do anything for me to feel close to him." The two shared a home in Orlando and would see each other between their performance commitments. Despite the giddiness and infatuation she describes, Britney did say that there were a couple of times during the relationship when she knew Justin had cheated on her, especially because she was so infatuated and so in love, she let it go, even though the tabloids were determined to rub it in her face. Even when paparazzi had photos of Justin in a car with a certain human, she said, "I never said anything. At the time, we'd only been together for a year. There were rumors about him with various dancers and groupies. I let it all go, but clearly, he'd slept around." It was one of those things where you know, but you just don't say anything. What comes next, folks, may seem familiar if you've seen the music video for Cry Me a River. Britney fooled around with choreographer Wade Robson, who had worked with both singers. And she said, "So I did too. Not a lot. One time with Wade Robson, we went out one night, we went to a Spanish bar, we danced and danced. I made out with him that night." She said she was loyal to Justin for years, only had eyes for him without one exception, which she admitted to him. That night was chalked up to something that will happen when you are as young as you were, and the duo moved past it and stayed together. She thought they were going to be together forever. She hoped they would be. Obviously, history has shown that forever didn't come true, but Britney didn't see the eventual text message breakup coming. She said that when Justin first started making his solo album, he was getting very standoffish with her, and she thinks that's because he decided to use her as ammunition for the record, and so it made it awkward for him to be around her, staring at him with all that affection and devotion. She saw the breakup message while filming the music video for Overprotected, the remix, which, oh, such a good video, and then went back to work. She said, "I had to go back out and dance." For as much as Justin hurt her, there was a huge foundation of love, and she said when he left her, she was devastated. She said she could barely speak for months. When anybody asked about him, all she could do was cry. She doesn't know if she was clinically in shock, but she felt that way. She talked about how his family had been the only real loving family she had. Okay, my cruel intention loving heart shattered when I found out Ryan Philippe had cheated on Reese Witherspoon because she deserves better. The relationship ended in 2007 after she confronted him about being unfaithful after reading text messages between him and his co-star Abby Cornish. Having said that, Ryan Philippe pointed out in a 2008 interview that the scrutiny that Abby faced was uncalled for, which that's fair. He said it was unfair for her to be called the name she was because, well, it wasn't about that. I don't think an outside person can ever cause a divorce. He said he had difficulties in his relationship relationship and marriage long before he ever met her.
Starting off strong, we have Adam Levine, who allegedly cheated on his pregnant wife of 8 years, Bahati Prinsloo, with Instagram model Summer Stroh. Summer claimed in a since-deleted TikTok that she had a quote affair with Adam, who currently shares 2 kids with Bahati. That lasted about 1 year. She said in the September video, "At the time, I was young, I was naive, and I mean, quite frankly, I feel exploited. I wasn't in the scene like I am now, so I was definitely very easily manipulated." And Summer went on to share a series of screenshots that seemingly showed Adam making some quite bizarre remarks about her body. In one of the images, the Maroon 5 frontman appeared to ask if he could use the model's name for his new baby with Bahati. Some of the texts Adam sent his secret lover include, "Holy effing F, that body of yours is absurd. How are you such an hourglass?" Needless to say, the entire ordeal took the internet by storm, with Adam's alleged texts in particular becoming something of a meme, and more women wound up making similar allegations about the singer's infidelity. And while Adam later denied cheating on Bahati in a statement addressing the scandal, he did admit that he'd quote crossed the line. Next up, we have the YouTuber scandal that's shocked the world. Ned Fulmer from popular YouTube channel The Try Guys. Ned, who got married to Ariel Fulmer in 2012, admitted to engaging in consensual workplace relationships after photos on Reddit appeared to show him kissing a colleague, Alex Herring, in a bar. Ned shares 2 children with Ariel and famously built his whole brand around his love and devotion to his family, becoming one of the internet's most prominent good guys. "Family should have always been my priority, but I lost focus and had a consensual workplace relationship," Ned said in a written statement. "I'm sorry for any pain that my actions have caused to the guys and to the fans, but most of all to Ariel. The only thing that matters right now is my marriage and my children, and that's where I'm going to focus my attention." The rest of the Try Guys, Keith, Zach, and Eugene, confirmed that Ned was no longer working with them as a result of the scandal. "We do not see a path forward together," they shared. "We thank you for your support as we navigate this change." Next up, we have Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian. Tristan Thompson made headlines twice for cheating on Khloe Kardashian, whom he began dating in 2016 over the course of their relationship. The Cleveland Cavaliers player was spotted cozying up to 2 women in April 2018 while Kardashian was pregnant with their daughter True. Later that month, Us Weekly confirmed that Thompson had been unfaithful to the reality star since November 2017 with at least 5 different women. However, Thompson was present for their daughter's birth, which was documented on season 15 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Us Weekly broke the news in May 2018 that the duo were quote fully back together despite Thompson's infidelity. The Revenge Body host defended her decision to reunite with the NBA star in November 2018. "His mistake was obviously humiliating and heartbreaking, but I do believe I am strong enough to endure anything," she tweeted at the time. "I choose to find a life lesson in every situation, even the nasty ones. Tristan has grown from this, but most importantly, he's a beautiful father to our sweet baby True." The athlete and Kardashian split for a second time when he was seen kissing Kylie Jenner's then best friend Jordan Woods at a party in 2019. Next up, we have Kristen Stewart, who cheated on Robert Pattinson with one of her directors, Rupert Sanders. "I'm deeply sorry for the hurt and embarrassment I've caused to those close to me and everybody this has affected," she said at the time. This momentary indiscretion has jeopardized the most important thing in my life, the person I love and respect the most, Rob. I love him, I'm so sorry." Sanders, for his part, publicly apologized to his then wife, Liberty Ross, and their 2 children, Skyla and Tennyson. "I am utterly distraught about the pain I have caused my family," the English director said in a statement. "My beautiful wife and heavenly children are all I have in this world. I love them with all my heart. I'm praying that we can get through this together." Both couples called it quits after the news broke. Next up, we have Shakira and Gerard Piqué. Piqué was having an affair with a 22-year-old girl while in a relationship with Shakira. Shakira and Piqué, a professional soccer player, were together from 2011 to 2022 and have 2 kids, though they never officially married. In her first interview about the breakup in September, Shakira told Elle, "Sometimes I just feel like this is all a bad dream and that I'm gonna wake up at some point. But no, it's real." She continued, "And what's also real is the disappointment to see something as sacred and as special as I thought was the relationship I had with my kid's father, and see that turned into something vulgarized and cheapened by the media." But by January 2023, the gloves were off. Shakira broke records when she dropped Music Session 53, which is apparently about PK. His new 23-year-old girlfriend, and how Shakira is worth, quote, 2 22-year-olds. Insider's Alan Dawson previously reported. Our next cheating couple is Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner. While the world is currently wrapped up in Bennifer, the other one with Jennifer Lopez, lest we forget that Ben Affleck was once in a soap operatic turn of events caught cheating on Jennifer Garner, the mother of his children and wife of 10 years. He cheated on Jennifer Garner with, guess this, the nanny. The couple divorced in 2018, and after marrying him last year, Jennifer Lopez went on saying that, "Honestly, I would simply walk out if she discovered he'd been unfaithful instead of, quote, flying into a rage." Next up, we have Jude Law and Sienna Miller. The pair were a picture-perfect Hollywood couple. The couple had been engaged for 8 months when Jude Law's kid's nanny, Daisy Wright, claimed that the two had been involved in an affair while he was filming a movie in New Orleans. Law then published an apology to Miller in the British Press Association, saying, "There is no defense for my actions, which I sincerely regret, and I ask that you respect our privacy at this very difficult time." Miller and Law were on and off for the next few years, breaking up for good in 2011. "That was one of the most challenging moments I hope I'll never have to experience again," she told the Daily Beast in 2022. The next celeb may come as a bit of a shock. We have David Letterman. David Letterman had only been married to his wife for 6 months, although they had been together for over 20 years, when he admitted to having multiple affairs with women who worked for him on air, including his longtime assistant Stephanie Burkett. The affair came to light when Stephanie's boyfriend Robert Halderman, a producer at CBS, allegedly tried to extort Letterman for $2 million in exchange for his silence. But David did not take up the offer and instead said this on live television: "This morning I did something I've never done in my life. I had to go downtown and testify before a grand jury." Letterman revealed to the studio audience that he received a package 3 weeks ago containing a threat to reveal those indiscretions if Letterman did not pay the individual a large sum of money, specified as $2 million. He said that the package contained a letter that said, "I know that you do some terrible, terrible things, and I can prove that you do those terrible things." And sure enough, what was contained in the package was proof that I do terrible, terrible things, he said. Our next celeb couple is Kevin Hart and Eniko Parrish. Kevin Hart's infidelity story is honestly a little similar to Letterman's, as he was also being extorted. After denying any wrongdoing, he took to Instagram in 2017 to apologize to his wife Eniko Parrish and his kids. It was then later revealed that somebody was in possession of an explicit video of Hart and was attempting to receive money from him. Hart and Parrish stayed together, and he spoke about it on a podcast in 2020. Our final celebrity couple involves Arnold Schwarzenegger. When Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver announced their separation in 2011 after 25 years of marriage, it was a shock to everybody. The bigger shock, however, came later when the world found out that Schwarzenegger was the father of a son born in 1997, mothered by the couple's housekeeper at the time. It's always the housekeeper. "Remember, it's not like we had a feud," he explained to People magazine in an interview. "We didn't have a fight." He added, "It's just my F up. My chapter with Maria will continue on forever," he told People. "Even though it's a different relationship and we are now separated, there's no reason for me to feel anything other than than love for Maria.
Number 10, Scott Disick. A cheating scandal involving keeping up with the Kardashians? Whoa, how unheard of! Scott has had his claws dug into the Kardashian family for over a decade, despite his constant bad decision making and partying lifestyle. He appeared as Kourtney's boyfriend on the series premiere of the family reality series and has been a chaotic bad in their lives ever since. In season 2, Kourtney confronts Scott for the first time following the revelation of a series of texts on his old cell phone to someone whose contact was listed as "my wife." This led to their first breakup and was the first instance of a public cheating being outed. Now, that wasn't the last one though. The couple would get back together and split over and over, and they even had 3 kids in the process. But Scott has a problem and he can't seem to keep his hands to himself. Literally months after the birth of his 3rd child, he was caught cheating on Kourtney with an ex in Costa Rica. Scott is still involved in the family unit to this day despite his serial cheating, but his presence on the show brings with it just a cloud of cringe. Number 9, Will Smith. Will Smith is a husband, father, and a professional smackmaster. In season 3, episode 12 of the reality TV show Red Table Talk, Jada Pinkett Smith invited her husband Will onto the show. During the interview, the topic of infidelity was brought up, and Will confronted Jada about an alleged relationship between herself and a singer named August Alsina during a brief separation between himself and Jada in 2015. Jada was taken back at first, but then went on to break down what really happened on her end. Following this episode, August went online and claimed that he had to have Will's blessing to begin the relationship, despite the pair technically being separated at that time. Now, Will never mentioned this, and Jada just denies that Will ever gave August permission. But when referring to the situation as an entanglement, Will kinda snapped and he made her correct herself to say the word relationship instead. Her show was eventually cancelled along with the rest of the Smith family. Yeah, you guys should have just kept your drama to yourselves. Number 8, Tristan Thompson. Khloe Kardashian and Tristan Thompson were happily together for quite some time until news of Tristan being seen kissing another woman was revealed on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. It turns out that Tristan had been seen kissing a woman named Jordan Woods, who at the time was Kylie Jenner's best friend. Khloe's reaction to the event is intense. In clips from the episode, she is seen and heard yelling on a phone and claiming that the scandal had torn her family apart. Okay. Not long after that revelation, Khloe seemed to forgive Tristan, but not Jordan. But they both were equally to blame, so like why be nice to Tristan? They got back together only for him to cheat on her again 2 years later, and this time the evidence was clear because the woman that he had an affair with birthed his child. Kinda hard to forgive something like that for obvious reasons. They are no longer together, and they're probably better for it. Number 7, Stephen Bear. Celebrity Big Brother is a spin-off of the regular Big Brother reality show in which celebrities are forced to live in a massive air hangar full of furniture from the brick. They compete in various competitions and slowly vote each other out. It's literally a popularity contest. In one season, a celebrity named Stephen Bear, who has basically just been on reality shows, began a steamy fling with his fellow housemate Chloe Khan, who is a model. They were together on the show for 3 weeks until one night a little twist came through the door. A twist by the name of Lily Lexi Gregg, Bear's longtime girlfriend and famous fashion designer. She confronted him the moment she stepped into the house. She said she needed to look him in the eyes when she told him what he did to her. Bear looks stunned when she comes in, and it probably doesn't help that he has like a small stack of donuts on his head when she does. It's kind of funny. Lily and Bear were together for several months before he entered the Big Brother house, with Lily claiming that she literally walked him to the front door and had to go home to his family. After learning of the romance sparking in the house, she reached out to producers and she got herself a spot in the hangar. Following the confrontation, Bear dumped Lexi in front of the entire house and the entire world, claiming that the experience made him realize that he wanted to be single and explore possible relationships. Okay man, oldest excuse in the book, bud. Number 6, Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom is a former NBA pro and he was married to Khloe Kardashian in 2009. And it seems Khloe just can't catch a break. In a sneak peek of his new documentary presented by TMZ, Lamar shared the fact that there is still plenty the public doesn't know about his serial cheating during his relationship to Khloe. While married to Khloe, Odom would have a slew of random women come through the house, sometimes multiple people at once. He also admits to having full-blown relationships while he was traveling with the NBA. Khloe discovered that Lamar was trying to cover his tracks by using her assistant's phone to message women behind her back. This caused her to go full-blown detective mode. Herself and momager Kris Jenner decided to take matters into their own hands and followed Odom to a hotel where he was caught cheating for the first time. They caught him surrounded by several women while under the influence of heavy substances, and despite this, the relationship continued until 20 2013 when Khloe finally had enough and called it quits. Lamar has recently come forward calling his actions embarrassing and hopes to reconnect with Khloe in the near future, but he's also claimed to have been with over 2,000 women, so I don't know, maybe she should just steer clear of that one. Number 5. Ronnie Ortiz. Ronnie is one of the spray tan minions on the hit reality series The Jersey Shore. The series follows Snooki and her housemates in Jersey Shore. There's like not much to unpack there. Recently, a revival of the series premiered, now being called Jersey Shore Family Vacation. During one episode of the show, Ronnie was seen cuddling and kissing a lady in a hot tub. Oh, what's wrong with this? Well, his pregnant wife was nowhere to be found. Ronnie admitted in a talking head that it was hard having kids on the way and being with someone that you're not sure you should be with. According to him, women were coming up to him constantly, and he was sick of denying them the goods. He akined it to being in one of those money machines, and it's on, but you just keep your hands in your pocket when it starts. Several cast members confronted Ronnie on his behavior, and the footage was shared with his wife Jen. Following this, Ronnie went on air and professed his love for a former girlfriend, not even the girl he was with, from 10 years ago. Snooki even spoke up and told him to move on. Like, that's crazy. As of now, Jen and Ronnie are still together. Here's hoping Jen doesn't want another kid though. Who knows what he'll do now? Number 4. Jax Taylor. In season 1 of the show Vanderpump Rules, Jax Taylor and Stacey Schroeder had a rocky relationship. And the whole thing was documented for us all to enjoy. The allegations of him having an affair with fellow castmate Kristen Doubt, the suspicions grew following Kristen's casual acceptance of Jack's history of cheating. She was Stacey's best friend and confronted the pair on several occasions. Both denied the hookup ever taking place until Stacey was finally able to get Jax to confess live on air. The confrontation created one of the most iconic moments in the Vanderpump Rules history. While Kristen kept denying the entanglement, Jax owned up to his actions and provided details for Stacey and a man named Tom Sandoval who was also dating Kristen at the time. That's right, 2 cheaters for the price of 1. After Stacey was pushed to the brink, she began a physical altercation with Kristen, and when things eventually simmered, Kristen finally admitted the truth and apologized for her mistake. The friendship with Stacey was damaged, but she was thankful to finally know the truth. She no cray cray. Number 3. Kelsey Grammer. You may recognize Kelsey Grammer as Frasier from the hit sitcom of the same name, but to fans of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, he's the one who cheated on Camille. Real Housewife Camille Grammer accused her husband of cheating with Kate Walsh, who's now his wife. The accusation came on season 1 of the show, and it chronicled their quickly declining love life. Kelsey recalls an instance when he had just recovered from a heart attack and suddenly his mother died. Instead of consoling her husband, Camille yelled at him on the day of her funeral and told him that she wanted a divorce, a conversation they had apparently had several times. The truth was Kelsey did cheat on his wife, as only 2 months following his official divorce from Camille, he married Kate Walsh, and they're still together to this day. In this case, it sounds like cheating got Kelsey out of a rough relationship. Number 2. Dean McDermott. Tori Spelling made a name for herself in the acting world when she portrayed Donna Martin on the show 90210. She met Dean McDermott on the set of Lifetime's Mind Over Murder in 2005, a year after she had married her first husband, Charlie Sheeneen. Dean was also married when they met and had been for about 10 years. He recounts falling hard for Spelling when they met. Then he noticed her wedding ring. Both parties had been unhappy in their marriages, and while their flirting at first had no intention behind it, they eventually woke up together in a room at the Cartier Palace and had no regrets. Well, maybe not yet. In 2013, after welcoming their second son into the world, Us Weekly announced that McDermott had been unfaithful to Tori during her pregnancy. The couple aired out their grievances on Tori's reality show True Tori. However, this scandal only brought them closer together. They began doing couples counseling and have learned to communicate more openly. As of 2023, they seem to be going on strong with 0 incidents of infidelity taking place since. Number 1. Hugh Grant. Hugh got caught cheating in the most public way possible. In 1995, he was arrested after he was caught getting down with a lady of the night in public. Not only is that rough, but he was dating actress and model Elizabeth Hurley at the time. At first, Elizabeth kept quiet and refused to comment until 2 months following his arrest. She went on record saying that she felt like she had gotten shot when she heard what he had done. The night lady, Divine Brown, was hounded by the press over and over for her side of the story, with one outlet even paying her $100,000 for her side. Brown was eventually sentenced for 180 days in jail due to a violation of her probation, while Grant was made to pay a $1,000 fine and attend an education program for medical stuff. During an interview with Jay Leno, Grant went on record claiming that he did abominable things and Liz was amazing about it. Despite what many news outlets were reporting, Elizabeth was very supportive of Grant and the couple tried to work things out. But unfortunately, they officially called it quits in 2000, and now Hugh Grant is a villain for some reason. He's a bad guy in every movie now.
At number 10, we have Adam Levine. The Maroon 5 frontman has since denied all of the recent accusations of cheating on his Victoria's Secret model wife, Beate Prinsloo, with Instagram model Sumner Stroh. However, this doesn't excuse him from today's list. In 2009, an interview resurfaced in which Adam admitted to messing around in his past relationships ahead of his marriage. Instant headlines connected this series of events from the direction of Sumner's accusations early last week, when the model took to TikTok in an attempt to expose the singer, further alleging that Adam had hopes of naming his new baby after her. In a statement Adam made to TMZ about his most recent scandal, Adam informed the media outlet, quote, "A lot is being said about me right now and I want to clear the air. I used poor judgment in speaking to anyone other than my wife in any kind of flirtatious manner. I did not have an affair, nevertheless I crossed the line during a regrettable period in my life." Reeling back to the 2009 interview though, when Adam was questioned on why guys cheat, he revealed this to Cosmopolitan. "Instinctively, monogamy is not in our genetic makeup. People cheat. I have cheated. And you know what? There is nothing worse than the feeling of doing it." Since Sumner's allegations, we've seen several other women step into the spotlight to claim they've also received flirtatious messages from the singer. Most recently is former yoga instructor Alana Zabel. Alana alleges that she was also the recipient of flirty texts, but went on to further state that the personal ramifications she faced were far more severe than the others. Alana insisted that Adam rumoredly did not ever acknowledge the suffering she faced at the hands of her ex-boyfriend, basically accusing Adam of turning a blind eye to her pain. Alana and numerous other women campaigned the hashtag Expose Adam Levine at the top of her story as well. If you haven't yet, tap the notification bell for more, it really helps our channel. At number 9, we have Emily Ratajkowski. The runway/brand model has officially pulled the plug on her marriage by filing for divorce from her soon-to-be ex-husband Sebastian Vera McLeod. According to online reports, Emily filed for divorce on Thursday in New York. Emily's filing came in light of prior accusations of Sebastian cheating on her. Apparently, there have been several public signs over the past few weeks which hinted at a closure in the relationship between the 31-year-old model and the 35-year-old acting producer. Emily was caught moving out of their New York City house only last month, and she most recently announced that she was single and dating once more on social media. The broken up couple share a 1-year-old son named Sylvester together and got married back in 2018. Online records indicate that their divorce is still in the contested stage, meaning that they still have a lot of work to do before it can be finalized. Emily and Sebastian's last appearance together was in May at Ari Emanuel's wedding ceremony. At number 8, we have Scott Disick. Now, Scott is no stranger to cheating allegations, nor the huge womanizer label branded on him throughout his lengthy time in Hollywood thus far. His player-esque ways actually began a long while back while he was in a relationship with reality star Kourtney Kardashian. This was most likely the biggest reason why Kourtney eventually made the decision to call it quits with Scott. During a Keeping Up with the Kardashians episode from 2009, the former couple were filmed fighting about texts Kourtney had found on Scott's phone that were allegedly sent by another woman. Surprisingly though, Kourtney ended up remaining by his side for quite a few years after this, even though she was dealing with immense trust issues doubled up with all of Scott's other reported problems at the time. Despite Scott cleaning up his acts in the years to follow, he soon fell right back into the rabbit hole of his old habits by July 2015. This was at the time when Scott was exposed via photographs of him getting a little too comfy cozy with his stylist Chloe Bartoli at a Monaco beach. Kourtney had considered that the final straw that broke the camel's back and dumped him for good. At number 7, we have Jessica Simpson. Jessica and her former partner Nick Lachey seem to have it all. On MTV, the Once a Thing duo was suggested as more than destined to become far more than just a reality TV dream couple. However, it seems this wasn't entirely the case, as the truth soon prevailed itself and Jessica was caught with her pants down. Jessica, for a fact, cheated on Nick, as per evidence from paparazzi in Los Angeles when they spotted Jessica departing the Chateau Marmont donning Adam Levine's t-shirt. At the time, no one could deny Jessica's unfaithfulness towards her then husband, and Nick divorced her in 2006. Nick is now married to his current wife Vanessa and shares 3 children, and Jessica is also happily moved on into her own relationship as well. At number 6, we have Jude Law and Sienna Miller. The UK was quite literally obsessed with their former celebrity acting dream couple Sienna and Jude. However, reports stated that the relationship was beyond tumultuous behind the cameras. Headlines of their time together began in 2004, following Jude cheating on Sienna with his children's previous nanny. Said nanny was taking care of his offspring from a former marriage, and they entangled in an affair prior to Jude and Sienna getting married, but after the duo were engaged. Yet, there are 2 very revealing sides to the coin of this relationship, because Jude wasn't the only one exposed for being unfaithful during their time together. It was later revealed that Sienna also cheated on Jude with the James Bond actor Daniel Craig. The rocky couple eventually let the romance go in 2006. They made a brief reconciliation in 2009, but but soon split for good the following 2 years in February 2011. At number 5 we have Jennifer Lopez. One of her most high-profile relationships was her marriage to celebrity dancer Chris Judd in 2001. Jennifer was still very much married to Chris when she was exposed for seeing Ben Affleck at the same time. Reports stated that when Chris found out, he immediately took to divorce court to settle his emotions regarding their then messy situation. Jennifer was later set to marry Ben, but in what seems like the scariest form of karma, Chris's favor was returned in the form of Ben telling Jennifer he was marrying Jennifer Garner instead of her, while JLo was in the midst of organizing their wedding. Naturally, Jennifer and Chris's relationship was super short-lived when they officially separated in 2003, both moving on to their respective next potentials in the Hollywood dating pool. At number 4 we have Ashton Kutcher. While he was much younger, Ashton was married to a much older Demi Moore, and there was already mass public speculation on whether or not the duo would weather the storm and make it to the sunny side of rainbows and happiness. As expected by most, the answer ended up being a fat no. Aside from the fact that Ashton and Demi were already separated when Ashton was seeing Sarah Leal, he was actually caught cheating on Demi with Mila Kunis. So much so that Sarah made Ashton's affair everyone's business, even going so far as to publicly warn Mila that Ashton was, quote, incapable of being faithful. However, it seems that Sarah's warning genuinely fell on deaf ears, as Mila and Ashton are still very much together and seemingly thriving nowadays. At number 3 we have Ryan Felipe. He and his former actress lady Reese Witherspoon got married in 1999, which was a marriage that seemed to be promising for many. The style of the relationship seemed set up for greatness from the start, and yet this wasn't entirely the case. Ryan's uber cozy relationship with his co-star Abby Cornish, who was opposite of him in Stop Loss, was brought to the center of Hollywood's gossip vine, and there was a startling amount of evidence against Ryan for him to deny the allegations set against him, ranging from everything between Reese discovering messages on his phone regarding the affair to the paparazzi quite literally catching him in the act. Ryan's infidelity grew so apparent that Ryan never once cared to deny it. This resulted in Reese filing for a divorce in 2007. At number 2 we have Jack Nicholson. Jack and Angelica Huston were a celebrity couple who spent 17 years going back and forth from the status of committed to breaking up. Their on-again off-again series came to an official end when they split for the last time in 1989. This was reported to have happened because there was a discovery that Jack had an extramarital affair, and the result was that his mistress, Rebecca Broussard, got pregnant. Even though Rebecca was nowhere near the first woman that Jack cheated on Angelica with, it seemed it was the final hurting point for Angelica to separate from Jack for good. At number 1 we have Charlie Sheen. People are still talking about how much it seems Charlie was trying every trick in the book to ruin his career and reputation during his infamous spiral. On top of his addiction issues and health diagnosis, Charlie had a notorious title of being a serial cheater. His first wife, Donna Peel, married Charlie in 1995. This was the same year that Charlie was exposed as being a client of the courtesan agency that was operated by Heidi Fleiss. This marriage ended in 1996. Following this, Charlie wed Denise Richards back in 2002, but they weren't said to have lasted long either, as Denise filed for divorce in 2005 after cheating rumors ensued while she was in her 7-month term with their second child. Charlie denied the cheating allegations while being with Denise, but his third marriage faced the same issue. After he tied the knot with Brooke Mueller in 2008, Charlie was reportedly entertaining workers in the adult industry, sometimes escorting them to the home he and his partner were sharing. Much like his others, Charlie and Brooke divorced in 2010.